You're leaving money on the table, especially if you do this to your customers. Now, I hate having to go back to a store just to get something else I need to install the parts I just bought there. Last summer, I was helping my son change the brakes on a Ford Focus. Now, it's the first time on this model, but we'd changed brakes before. So, early morning trip to the auto parts store to get the right pads. Standing at the counter, have our shop towels, our brake cleaner, everything else we need from previous experience. Talk to a friendly guy behind the counter who punches keys into a computer and walks down the aisle behind the counter, and we wait for him to bring us the correct parts. Nothing special so far. Thinking we're all set to complete the task at hand, we head home to get to work. By the time we had the car on the jack, the calipers off, the old pads removed, and ready to install the new pads, the Saturday afternoon sun, well, it had hit its peak. The July temperature had risen from bake to broil. And that's when we had a surprise. The special feature of Ford brakes, they require a specific tool to compress the calipers. The project was at a dead standstill until we got that tool. So back to the parts store, where the same friendly guy looked up and said, "Oh, let me guess, you need a special brake puller." Probably meant to show off his knowledge and his customer service skills because he remembered us from earlier that morning. All it did was want to make me choke him. Because if he knew that that model needed a special tool, how hard would it have been to ask several hours before, "Do you have that special tool needed to compress this caliper? It's not a standard brake press." One simple question could have saved my afternoon. Instead, he tempted me to commit assault in a retail store. Failing to cross-sell is not being polite. It's setting your customer up to fail. Hey, and welcome back to Stop Leaving Money on the Table. I'm your host, Brandyn Miller, and this is the podcast designed to help business owners find the fastest way to increase revenue. So most of us have experienced this back and forth to a store at some point in time. Multiple trips to the same store for one more thing you need to finish a project. And maybe if you're like me and go to the same hardware store and auto parts stores I do, it's every Saturday. And we all chalk it up to, well, here we go again. But it's actually a fail on the parts store and the hardware store and the grocery store and almost every other store out there. And it costs untraceable amounts of lost sales and repeat sales. It's another way businesses leave money on the table. We're officially deep into phase 2 of the customer follow-up formula today, the implementation phase. Last week in step 4, we showed how to get reviews and feedback. Not just more reviews and better reviews, but better feedback. Today we're hitting step 5, cross-selling variations and timing. If you want to grow a business, there are only 2 legal ways that you can increase revenue. Either increase the number of transactions or the price per transaction. Cross-selling is the ultimate business tool. It can do both. Now, your current customers, they're dying to give you more money. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop holding back, how to anticipate their problem, and really how to cross-sell effectively so that they thank you for it. A 20-minute podcast doesn't give us enough time to cover every cross-selling strategy. So we're going to focus on 2 specific windows: the additional items needed now and the next step, future purchase. Let's start with a needed now window. Rewind to the auto parts story. That was a catastrophic failure of the needed now cross-sell. And once again, I've tried to omit the names to protect the guilty, but I can't promise not to say AutoZone at some point. Oops. Anyway, physical goods, they're an easy way to visualize this. Imagine a customer buys a new flat screen TV. What are they going to need right now to make the installation go perfectly? Well, surge protector, HDMI cables, a wall mount, soundbar, universal remote. Anticipate what they need. If you let them leave the store or check out of your shopping cart if it's online without offering these items, you're not being polite. You're guaranteed that they're going to get agitated when they get home and realize they can't put it to use immediately. World-class businesses don't stop at the hardware. They actually look at the next step. What are future things that they're going to need? Where is this product going, and why did the customer buy it? Again, let's think about that TV. Where is it going to go? Well, you can cross-sell blackout curtains for better viewing, remote speakers so they can listen from the kitchen without blasting the neighbors, or a whisper quiet ceiling fan so they can actually hear the movie dialogue instead of an electric motor. If you think about why did they buy the TV? Well, cross-sell popcorn bowls, chip and dip sets, folding tables for game days. There are any number of ways that you can continue to add value to that purchase. Now, right now you might be thinking, hey, this sounds like aggressive sales, not customer follow-up. But when done right, they're the exact same thing. If you tag that customer's TV purchase in December, you have a built-in follow-up calendar for the entire year. In January, hey, what about a cord management system to help keep them organized? February, it's the Super Bowl party, serving trays, folding tables. Very next month, you're going to get into March Madness, the NBA Finals. What about June? Those blackout curtains to fight the sun glare actually helps them enjoy the product that they already have. Cross-selling is not a high-pressure pitch. It's a follow-up gift that keeps on giving, not just to your bottom line. It actually enhances your customer's experience. Easy enough for those products, but what if you don't sell a physical product? What if you offer a service? Well, the needed now and next step rules still apply. You can put it to use in any industry. Let's take an unusual example, real estate. The average homeowner moves every 7 years. Well, hoping they just magically remember your name 7 years from now, that's not a strategy. Powerful follow-up is. How powerful? One of the top real estate agents in North Carolina doesn't live in Charlotte. They don't live in Raleigh, not even Winston-Salem or Greensboro area. Diane Castro lives in a small rural community. She operates in a coastal town, but it's surrounded by military bases. New River Air Station, Camp Lejeune, Cherry Point. Through research, she figured out that the local average length of home ownership wasn't 7 years. It was actually 27 months. Thousands of military personnel move in and out every single year. Instead of treating real estate as a one and done transaction, she became the queen of follow-up. She provides continual value for every season and stage of home ownership. Because she anticipates the next step, she once helped a single family buy, sell, and buy again. That was 5 transactions, home purchases and sales from one family just by following up. Think about ways a real estate agent can continue adding value with follow-up. Annual home valuations, tax markets, market tracking, transitioning your personal home into a rental home, make it an investment property, not to mention simple ways to maintain your home, increase curb appeal, which flowers bloom in this particular climate at this particular season. There's a gazillion more if we just take the time to install them in our follow-up system. Stop viewing cross-selling as just, if you buy peanut butter, you need jelly. Again, more service industry examples. We've talked about dentists before, but think about that. Insurance only covers biannual visits or every 6 months. But what about cross-selling teeth whitening services right before holiday photos or weddings or Mother's Day? Think about creating a simple subscription service for specialized toothpaste if you've got sensitive teeth, or replacement toothbrush heads for those powered toothbrushes. Deliver it right to their door. Or a simple cross-sell could just be asking if the person in the chair has family members that they need to schedule appointments for. No matter what industry you're in, products, service, intellectual property, even thought leadership, there are opportunities to create bigger impact and tie customers to your brand. Another service industry, even a plumber fixing a leaky faucet can cross-sell. Instead of just replacing that flapper valve and driving away, what about turning that single service call into an annual maintenance plan? A single fixed price to check yearly for seal leaks, whole house inspections. Oh, and by the way, next week, we're going to talk about upsell opportunities. And yes, there are upsell opportunities for plumbers too. Every service-based industry can do upsells as well. Now, one of the most powerful ways to cross-sell, let's collect the most common products needed for a fixed period of time and create a simple bundle. Think about a newborn baby. You can sell burping cloths, a couple of packs of newborn diapers, and that XL pack of size 1 diapers. Why? Because the only thing worse for a new parent than underestimating how quickly a newborn grows is not being ready when they need the next size up. Another transition. Don't just sell a laptop. Create a complete college computer pack. Cross-sell the portable mouse, a padded sleeve, a backpack pack with a dedicated pocket, the external hard drive, the multi-port USB hub, whatever else they're going to need. One step to prepare them for the next phase in life. Now, is that selfish selling? Or is that helping a family avoid decision fatigue and remove the stress about going into a completely new situation for both the student and the family? What about that plumbing plan? Valve checks, seal replacements, hot water heater flush, snaking the drains, adding all new flapper valves. Make it complete before the moving truck even shows up. Remember, you experience this every single day. You know other customers' experiences. You've learned what they need and when they need it. You know your product and service better than your customers do. Anticipate their needs. Do not make customers drive all the way back to your shop just so you can look up and say, I bet you need a Giz widget so you can finish your bag thumper installation. That is not customer service. It is aggravating. Ask me how I know. So where are we in the customer follow-up formula? Well, if you've been here from the start, you've completed phase one, the transaction phase. You affirmed their decision with the order confirmation. You reminded them the solution was on the way with a payment receipt, and you gave them relief with the delivery of the product or service. Now, last week, we started into phase two, the implementation. You gave your customers the opportunity to provide feedback and help others by leaving reviews. After today, you're going to be halfway through the implementation phase by creating cross-selling paths to help solve their problems faster, or to solve tangential problems that they're likely to encounter at that phase of implementation. Now, I hope that you're playing along at home and implementing each one of these steps. The follow-up system isn't just to increase repeat sales. It's going to tie customers to your brand and continue to help them win. Now, your repeat and future sales will go up, but you're really helping your customers live better. You're guiding them through problems so they achieve success and avoid failure. Now, don't worry if you're behind on implementation or feeling overwhelmed. You don't have to be. You can get help. Head to customerfollowupformula.com, grab that free checklist, all 10 ways that you can increase revenue. It's the fastest way to increase sales in your business. If you need help installing it and just can't find the time, schedule your guided audit at customerfollowupformula.com. We can have the system completely installed for you in as little as 90 days. But you do have an action plan for today. Get this done. First, dive into your first-time customer's mindset. What do they not know that you know? Identify what else is going to help them solve their immediate problem and tee it up for a need now cross-sell. Second, look at your transaction history. Find out when they need the next step. Program a follow-up to hit their inbox before they have to search for the next solution. Let your customers know that you are there to help them win. You're helping them achieve success and avoid failure. Now, if it's your first time here, hit subscribe or follow on the player of your choice. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can get a couple of little visuals if you follow it on YouTube. Leave a comment with your biggest aha moment of today. Share it with a friend who is searching for the fastest way to increase revenue in their business as well. Because next week, we're climbing the revenue ladder to talk about upsell opportunities and timing. Did you know that 10% of your current customers will pay you 10 times more to solve their problem? You don't want to miss that. Until then, cross-sell to your current customers. Provide them what they need now and follow up with them to provide the next steps. I'm Brandyn Miller, reminding you to stop leaving money on the table, and I can't wait to see you next Friday.